What's up guys, it's your boy Lim Crimmins back again with another video, and this week we got a video I'm really stoked on, I'm really proud of. This is the Cursed Necromancer build and guide video. This character I worked really hard on the last few weeks. I genuinely believe this is maybe top 10 Cursed Necros on the server. I could be completely wrong. I'm just very confident in my gear and my build. This character is amazing for mapping, large density AoE areas. It just clears pretty much everything in the game with ease. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Smash that like button, sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Twitch now. I'm streaming a few days a week. Twitch.tv/limcrimbins. And as always guys, have a good one. Cheers. What is up guys? Welcome to my Cursed Necro guide build video. This is my pride and joy character as we speak. I started with the combustion sorceress, but I got kind of bored to be honest, so I want to try something new. So a lot of people perceive this build as being a completely passive party build, really good for helping teammates, and they're right, but I see it equally as much as a solo character as I do a party character. So we're going to start with the skill tree. The first thing to talk about is Dark Pact. This is going to be your damage. This is going to be your primary skill, your left click, and this is essentially where you get your damage from. The way it works is that you cast 3 curses prior to using Dark Pact. So they're like preliminary build up, setup, buff curses, if you will. So you cast 1, 2, 3, and then you cast Dark Impact. And for every curse you have on those monsters, you will do what the damage shows. So for example, if you cast Amplify Damage and then Dark Pact, you'll do what that damage shows. If you cast Amplify Damage and Weaken, you'll do twice the damage. If you cast Amplify, Weaken, and Lower Resist, you'll do 3 times the damage shown. So it's a really simple concept, and you can end up doing a lot of damage. So what you want to do is max out all of its synergies, because this is the most important skill. So you're going to completely max out Curse Mastery. As you see there, each point is 18% magic damage and 0.6 radius. You want to max out Iron Maiden as well for 16% magic damage per level. And then on top of that, for each hard point you put into any curse, gives you 12% magic damage. Now it has to be hard point. It has to be in this skill choices remaining slot. It can't be, skills you get from gear. It has to be a hard point, one you earn from leveling. So I've maxed out Dark Pact, Curse Mastery, and Iron Maiden, and the rest is really up to you. I can't really dictate what you want to do. Maybe you're a completely passive group party character, so all you want to do is help your teammates. For me personally, I am a mix of the two. So I think Decrepify is 100% needed. As you can see, I have it maxed out. Minus 30% enemy movement speed and minus 55% enemy attack and cast rate. That is absolutely huge. If you're doing really crazy tier 3 maps, this is going to be completely essential to stopping all the monsters in their tracks. The other one that I think is absolutely essential, especially for party play, is Weaken. It's not currently maxed out for me, but as we speak right now, it currently takes away minus 55% enemy monster damage. That's crazy huge. So this is one you can just cast, sit back, and let your teammates do the work. Because having all the enemy monsters do minus 55% damage, it cuts their damage in half and then some. Final one I use is Lower Resist. I find there's more elemental characters in games than there are physical. This also isn't maxed as we speak, just because there's not enough points to go around, but it gives minus 24% enemy monster resistances. Really good for group play, and to me it's either this or Amplify Damage. Amplify Damage pretty much does the same thing as Lower Resist, but for enemy physical resistance. The important thing to remember is that after you cast these 3 setup curses and then use Dark Impact, when you use Dark Impact, it removes all the curses. So you have to reset the 3 curses again if the monster isn't dead, and then use Dark Impact until the monster's dead and repeat that process. So why some of these are important, like Weaken, is that if you use Dark Pact after using it, then the monster becomes not weakened anymore, and then your team becomes vulnerable. Which is why it's really important sometimes to have a passive Necro that can just cast these 3 curses and not use Dark Impact. So the Poison and Bone skill tree is empty on this character. All the skills aren't necessary for the Cursed Necro. The only viable one maybe would be Bone Armor, but I think it's completely useless and very, very weak. And also you get more damage absorbed from putting a point into Bone Wall or Bone Prison, its synergies, than you actually do from putting a point into Bone Armor. So for the summoning skill tree, I have a point into Blood Warp, which is 100% essential for any Necro. You should be completely taking advantage of this skill. It's basically a teleport with a cooldown. It helps you reposition your golems and your mercenary all together, and it can help you get out of danger. Luckily for me, I have a lot of plus skills gear, so I think it starts at 8 seconds, and I've brought it all the way down to 2.6 seconds, and it's really helpful with my gameplay. This is somewhat controversial. I've put 1 point into Clay Golem, and I've put 10 points into Golem Mastery. So if you put 1 point into Golem Mastery, it does nothing. If you put 5 hard points, again, points that you earn from leveling and actually put straight in, you get 2 clay golems. So I've done 10 points, which means I get 3 clay golems. I do this strictly for tanking. I don't die as this character because when I teleport onto something, I have 3 golems and a mercenary tanking everything for me. And the really important thing for this character is finding the time to cast 3 curses and then Dark Impact to do your damage. You know, that's like a second or two before you can actually start doing damage once you teleport. So it's important to have my clay golems and mercenary tanking for me to buy me some time. And as you can see, my golems have 3,000 life, 2,000 damage, and a ton of just bonus from Golem Mastery. Let's move on to the gear now. So there's a lot of items that are going to be best in slot, irreplaceable. Start off with Black Hand Key. Now this is just a standard 3-2. I haven't slammed it just because I don't want to buy another in case I mess it up. The goal is to have a +1 corrupt and then puzzle box it for 2 open sockets. I could just go get a 2 open socket one right now, but I don't really want to spend a Vex just to eventually buy a +1 anyways. But as you can see, 3 to curses, 2 to Necro. That's essentially 5 to all your curses. 30 cast rate, which is huge. Life, fire res. Another huge one is 5 life after each kill. 4 to 7, but I got 5. Basically every monster you kill, you get 5 life. Next we have Atma's Whale. I puzzle box this in my March highlight video. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out. There's some great stuff in there. So we got a +1 skilled corrupt, making it 2 to all skills. And then I puzzle boxed it for 2 open sockets, luckily. And I threw in 2 P topazes in there just for some extra magic find. This isn't do or die. I just personally felt it was best in slot. 30 cast rate, 30 hit recovery, 15 dex, and increased maximum mana 15%. This character bleeds mana, so any chance you have to getting more mana is very nice. We have a very nice homunculus. We have a +1 skill corrupt, and then I slammed it for 2 open sockets. Again, this isn't do or die, but I am a max block Necro. So having a shield that gives 40 increased chance of blocking is very helpful. 30% block rate, 2 to Necro skills, +1 skill corrupt. You got 20 energy, regen mana 33% like we said. Mana bonuses are very important. 4 to mana after each kill is so essential. And all res, plus I threw 2 runes in there just to make a complete tank machine with 73 all res. Next we have a +1 skill corrupt Shaco. I completely whiffed the puzzle box on it, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. We threw an rune in there for 15 res. This in my opinion will be best in slot. I don't think you need a faster cast rate circlet because you get cast rate from a lot of other items. 3 to all skills, normally 2 to all skills, 2 to attributes, doesn't really matter. Life and mana based on character level, which is huge. I threw an rune in there, so 15 all res. Physical damage reduced by 4%, 50% magic find. Next we have Omarda's Kaleidoscope. Don't know if this is best in slot. You could find maybe a cast rate, Necroami, but can't go wrong. 2 to all skills, 9 to all the attributes corrupt, 21 all res. I could get a better one, just not a priority right now. We have some water walks now with a terrible corrupt, 40 faster run walk, 20 faster block rate, going back to the max block Necro, 15 to dex, which helps with your block, 51 life, 5% maximum fire res, which helps with Trav Hydra and stuff like that, and the god-awful corrupt on it. Next we have an Arachnid's Mesh, 1 all skills, and some cast rate. Slows target by 20%. I'm not sure if that's only for physical attacks or any attacks. Regardless, it's a very nice stat. Increased mana 10%, which is perfect on this roll, and a 14% lightning resist corrupt, which isn't that great, but you know, I can't complain. Next we have Trav Gloves. These are best in slot, no question about it. 2 to all your curses, 20% faster cast rate. Poison skill damage doesn't matter, that's why it's only 10 for me. 30 cold res, which is a good little bonus, and these have 13% magic find corrupt. I'm going to aim to get some that have over 20, but they are kind of expensive right now, so these will do just fine. Stone of Jordan, no corrupt because I'm terrified. 1 to all skills, 23 mana, and 17% maximum mana increase, so mid rolls, actually the mana is really low, but mid roll max mana, again, you need mana. We have a Raven Frost. This is mainly for the dex from my max block. 40 mana, which is nice. Some cold absorb. Cannot be frozen, which is the main one. And 18% magic find corrupt, which is a very nice ring. On the offhand, we have a 6 bow CTA. I sold my 664 and I bought a regular 6 bow for about half the price. And we have a 2 skill lidless. I threw a shell rune in there just for faster block rate in case I'm telling in a group and I need to get out quicker or block faster, essentially, right? We have a underwhelming Necro Torch, 54, 10, 10. Not complaining, just needed a Necro Torch. As well as an Annie, pretty mid-roll, 43, 10 energy, which is anti-perfect, 15 res, and 7 experience gained. Not bad. And then an assortment of Cursed Lifers. This is a very nice one. 36, 32, 31. We have a 7 faster run walk. I just like walking faster. I might sub it out for a 40 life GC one day. 27 life, 12 fast hit recovery. I do need this to hit the breakpoint. 38 life and another 12 fast hit recovery. These are for the breakpoints. I'm a huge advocate for faster hit recovery. I know a lot of guys say, you know, if you don't get hit, you don't need fast hit recovery. I do get hit, I do tele into groups, and I like to be able to cast and not get stuck and yada yada yada. So for the stats, I put in just enough strength to use all my gear, which is 125 because of Atmas. Just enough points into dex to get max block, which is 75. Everything else went into vitality. I think you'll find with every character, minus maybe an energy shield sorceress, that you don't put any points into energy. You'll get most of those points from your gear, whether it be energy or mana. So as we sit without bow, we have 1381 life and 592 mana. That does change quite a bit once we bow. 80 fire res, 75 cold, 75 lightning, and 68 poison. So I am a very tanky character. Let's go bow ourselves. So we do have level 20 bow, which is almost unheard of for a non-barb. And as you can see now, we have 1716 life and 829 mana, which is absolutely huge. Our Dark Pack does 4,232 damage. And as you can see, it's level 51. I personally have never had a character that went over like 45 skills, so to have 51 is completely ridiculous to me. So this is really important to me. I want to make sure that I hit the FHR and the FCR breakpoints. So we have 94 cast rate, which breaks the 75 cast rate breakpoint, and we have 59 hit recovery, which breaks the 56 hit recovery breakpoint. I think those are good enough. I've seen guys try and hit the 125. I think it's overkill for cast rate. You don't really need it. In fact, I think you're sacrificing other components of your build just to hit that cast rate, so it's not worth it to me. But like I said, I am a huge advocate for faster hit recovery. So we are on the 6th breakpoint. I think that's plenty. You can hit the 7th if you want at 86. Not completely necessary, but you do you. As we speak right now, we have 182 magic find. I didn't show my charms, but there are an assortment of life, magic find, all res, hit recovery, basically stuff like that, standard stuff. We also have 0 gold find right now. What I do when I want gold, I switch to Alibaba, which is 227, and Chance Guards, which is 200. So I'll just swap those on, go do Travinkle 20 times, and I've got my, whatever it is, 2-3 million gold, just so I can buy orbs from Anya and reroll maps. Now the Mercenary is kind of up for grabs here. I would love your guys' feedback. I'm not really sure what's best in slot. We have an Insight and a Thresher, which is good damage, can't really complain. But I think there is better options. I'm just not sure what they are. So we have the Meditation Ore, which helps with my mana a great deal. And like I said, he does pretty decent damage. We also have a Stone, which I made in a filthy lacquered plate. Really, really high defense, which is going to help him with physical monsters. A 60 hit recovery, strength, vitality, energy, which doesn't really apply to him, and 15 all res. For the helm, we got the G-Face, which is pretty standard. I got 2 open sockets on it. 30 hit recovery, which gives him a combined 90. So he's not even going to notice he's being hit pretty much. Insane 35 crushing blow, 15 deadly strike, some strength, which helps for equipping your weapon depending on what it is. And I threw 2 P12 in that for 48% magic find, because for those who didn't know, when a mercenary kills something, it combines your magic find with his magic find. For the gloves, we have Lane of Hands, pretty standard, 20 increased attack speed, 18% minus target defense corrupt, which is very nice, 145% extra damage to demons, some fire res for Hydras and Travinkle, stuff like that. We got Willem's Pride. This is basically just for life leech, and some cold res, and 35 life because it's the bonus with G-Face. And we have some Goblin Toes with Cannot Be Frozen Corrupt, some ED, faster run walk, more crushing blow to give him 60, I believe, 35 and 25, yep, 60. And yeah, Cannot Be Frozen Corrupt, which is very nice. So I actually bought a Pride mercenary weapon. For those who don't know, Pride gives level 16 to 20 concentration aura when equipped, but it turns out that only attributes to physical damage. So when I equipped it, even though it's a magic aura that boosts magic damage, it did not add any magic damage to Dark Pack. So I will use that for a physical character later. So guys, I'd love to know your opinion. I don't think Insight's the perfect weapon so far, but it's doing me a good job right now. Let me know in the comments what you think the best weapon is. I had an idea of getting a new weapon and essentially getting a 2-socket Blackhand key and putting 2 Tur runes in it to give me 4 mana after each kill. I think that would substitute Insight and allow him to have a different weapon. That's basically all the gear, guys. Really simple, but just very nice quality stuff. One of the problems I find with Cursed Necros is that there's just so many skills you have to have on your scroll wheel. I use a scroll wheel. I don't know about you guys. I met someone who says they use the key bindings. I think that's completely insane, but maybe that works for you guys. My scroll wheel consists of Blood Warp, Clay Golem, and my 3 skills, which are Decrep, Low Resist, and Weaken. So generally, I will tele on someone. I'll use Decrepify, slows them down and buys me some more time. Then I will use lower res, and then I will use weaken. So you're gonna have Dark Pact on your left click, so when you're tele and cast those on your scroll wheel, you can instantly left click and Dark Pact them. So tele, decrep, lower res, weaken, Dark Pact. Pretty simple, right? And then just scroll back, reset yourself. Like I said, my blood warp's really high, only takes 2.4 seconds with bow. So because you have that cast rate, we can show it a little faster. Tele, 1, 2, 3, and Dark Pact. So really fast and really efficient, gets high damage done really quickly. So it's very insane and one of the best characters for AoE and large density areas in my opinion. Again, 1, 2, 3, boom. One shots almost everything. So people always ask me, where do you farm, where do you magic find? I primarily do maps. The best maps in my opinion are Blood Moon, which is the cow level, and Throne of Insanity, which is basically just Throne of Destruction on crack. So my favorite place to magic find across any character is actually Chaos Sanctuary. I can drop every item in the game. It's very good for high runes. The other thing is Blood Warp isn't just tactical, you know, you can use it for mobility. There's a great group right there. 1, 2, 3, and it's that simple. Crazy damage. As you can see, it's one-shotting most things. The bigger the group, the better. It's pretty annoying having to track down one monster to use all 3 curses and then Dark Pact. The other thing to remember is that your mercenary actually really matters because there are magic immunes in the game, like the second Bale Wave with the Unravelers. Those are magic immunes, so you need a mercenary that does a lot of physical damage. So Blood Warp away. Save you a lot of time running. Reposition all your guys once they get carried away. So Decrepify. I mean, look at those Doom Knights, they're moving so much slower. Now we're going to move on to the downfall of the Cursed Necro, which is single target damaging and fighting. As you can see, slow him down. Diablo with my Decrepify plus my Clay Golems is just insanely slow. He's slowed down so much. So we're just basically going to do this, stand in the opposite direction so he doesn't completely hellfire your Mercenary and Clay Golems. He's actually one of the faster bosses to kill, believe it or not. But that really is the downfall of the Cursed Necro. Map bosses are so hard to kill, almost impossible sometimes. And he really specializes in those huge areas, high density areas. More examples, you can do Worldstone and Bale, you can do the pits, you can do pretty much any area. Even though magic immunities do exist, they're not that common. I'm going to give you some clips of some mapping now that I use with this character and really show you why this character showcases in those high density maps. Holy cows. Is this? Oh my god, look at that. Bro. What the hell? This is nutty. And that is essentially the Cursed Necro, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm having a blast with this character. It's been really nice to try something new. I feel reinvigorated playing PD2 again. Let me know if you have any suggestions for my gear. I went in pretty blindly with this character, but everything seems to work really well for me. I hope you guys are trying new characters. Maybe give this character a shot. And as always, guys, like the video, sub to the channel. Cheers.